Greetings, I'm Dr. Ben Reese, and I am the Associate Dean for Vocational Formation at ACU Dallas. I hope this finds you well and that you are experiencing some measure of hope and joy and life. It's August, and for many people, this is the time of year when we're ramping up for a new season. If you have children, school is starting soon, if it hasn't already. The chaos of the summer months with vacations and visits from family and fun activity, it starts to slow down. We often find ourselves settling into some sort of rhythm, at least some of us do. Some of us, I'm sure, don't feel any sort of slowing down. The chaos of summer might be over, but it's just replaced by another season of chaos. I'm actually coming to you from my living room today. Our family is in a pretty big season of transition and new beginnings ourselves. Behind me, you can see boxes and knickknacks. And in 2 days, we'll load up these boxes and knickknacks and we'll drive our oldest child, our daughter Emma, off to college. We've been soaking up every moment we can with her. She's a great kid. She's thoughtful and kind and brave. She's strong-willed in all the right ways. And we really can't wait to watch from a distance as she learns new things and steps out on her own and questions and wrestles and try to figure out what life is like as this budding adult. But it's also a new season for us. We have to adjust to life without Emma. We still have our two other children at home, but having one less personality, one less part of our family hanging around will be new. It'll be different for us. It'll take time to figure out things and adjust if we ever do. But it's a new kind of beginning for us. And you might be experiencing the same sort of thing. It might not be sending a child off to college, but it might be a child starting in a new school. Or maybe you're starting school for the first time in a really long time. Perhaps there's a job that is on the horizon or that you've already started and you're anticipating stepping into a new role. Or maybe there have been difficulties in your family. Life has forced you into a new season outside of your control. Or maybe you've committed to change something in your behavior and your habits and your daily rhythms. So while it may not be any groundbreaking new beginning, quote unquote, there might be a part of your life that feels like a fresh start. In some ways, I find the category of new beginnings a bit problematic. Certainly, there are seasons of life where transition and change feel more acute, and the effects of those things disrupt us in both good and bad ways more than other times. But on the other hand, I actually think our everyday life is packed full with new and unpredictable and uncertain events and occasions that we can actually say that every day is a new beginning. And it feels a bit corny and very cliche to say something like that. Every day is a new beginning. So let me try to say it another way. I'm a Christian, not always a great one, but I am deeply interested and try, even when I try poorly, to follow this guy named Jesus. And because I do care about it, I am bound to live my life interacting with the two most unpredictable forces in the world, human beings and the Spirit of God. Now, anyone who's tried to pin down human behavior quickly discovers it is an exercise in missing the point. Each one of us is a complex creature, and we aren't always aware of why we do what we do, and we're definitely not aware of what others will always do. I mean, we might think our spouses or children or colleagues or bosses will all behave one way, but we shouldn't be surprised when they do something unexpected or not what we hoped for. Because our capacity as human beings to do the unexpected and to do the surprising, either for the good or for the bad, this capacity knows no bounds. And the same is true for the Spirit of God. If there's one thing that the Hebrew Scriptures and the stories of Jesus that we find in the Gospels and the story of the early church found in the rest of the New Testament attest to, if there's anything that these stories attest to, it is this: you cannot box in God's Spirit. Just when the people of God think they have God figured out, the Spirit blows past their expectations and their boundaries and begins a new thing. And even though Christians often say God is not bound by us or what we think or what we want, I'm often surprised when we are baffled by those moments that God does the very thing, this disrupting our expectations and doing something new. This is why I want to say that every day is a new beginning. because our lives are dependent on the two most unpredictable forces in the universe, human beings and the Spirit of God. And so if there's one thing that we could do, whether we find ourselves neck deep in a season of change and transition, or if our life feels pretty ordinary right now, there's one thing we can do, and it's stay curious. Curiosity is seldom mentioned in any of the spiritual discipline lists that you could find out there, but I think it might be one of the most important postures that we could take into the world. To enter every moment of our lives with an expectant curiosity that the unexpected might happen to us. If we do this, well, it'll prepare us to receive all new things with greater openness and grace and gratitude. To be curious towards the world is a way of embracing the great command to love God and to love neighbor. So whatever new beginning in which you find yourself, stay curious. Stay open to the possibility that the uncertain and unpredictable nature of life might be a bit frightening, sure, but it's also the very place that God shows up, and it's the very place to which we are called. May God's peace and presence be with you in whatever new beginning you find yourself in.